Hello, and good morning, and welcome back to the Spirit of Watercolor with Linda. Boy, it's the end of December. It's been a whirlwind of Christmas crazies, I call it. So much going on. It's a wonderful time. But I'm really off center at that time. You know, my focus is not on art per se. But I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad to be here. And this is what I was doing, and I wanted to show you that I took these tiny pieces. I'll show you how I do this, where I take this very pulpy paper and paint these Christmas trees. Well, I want to say winter trees more than Christmas trees. I was in the spirit during Christmas. And then, glue them on these cards. And all these things you can order on Amazon, and I will show you what I did if you go to the table with me in just a minute. These trees, the ones I'm doing here, there is, and it may be hard to see here, but there is some interference paints glazed over top, which will add a little shimmering sheen to these. There's also duochrome paints, iridescent paints. So hopefully you'll see that more when I'm showing you an example video of this, okay? So welcome back. If you haven't subscribed yet, if you're new watching my channel, I think there's some new subscribers I've seen on there. Welcome. Please, come to the table and listen and watch and get inspired. You can either watch these just for fun and entertainment, but I really hope people will want to be inspired to try watercolors. They are a beautiful spiritual medium, as I always say. So welcome to my channel. And also, if you look on my channel, you'll find that I have published my website. Still cleaning it up with a few spelling errors, because that's not my high point, but it looks pretty good. Let me know what you think of it. You can give me a comment on one of my videos here, and take a look at the paintings that I do and the kinds of things that I do, and maybe that'll also inspire you to become a watercolorist and have this be a wonderful enrichment to your life as well. So let's go to the table and do our beautiful little cards for this time of year, and have fun at the tea at the same time. Okay, I'll see you then. First of all, I want to show you how I make these lovely winter scenes, and you can do them as cards, which is what I'm going to show you, because they're small and fun and easy to make. So this is a handmade watercolor paper that I used here, and it's Wanderings. Here's the box. It's called Wanderings, and they make these handmade cards, and you can get, I think there's 25 in here, something like that. Ordered off Amazon, right? And then the cards that I glue them onto here are just basic cards I ordered also from Amazon, which is this Funko, and they're watercolor paper, which I highly recommend watercolor paper for your cards if you don't want to cut them out yourself. If you like doing that and you're comfortable, my eyes are not fabulous for cutting perfect straight edges and such, and these aren't that expensive. So once we paint the card, then we adhere it here to that, and then we have these cards. I just wanted to also mention that I also bought this handmade watercolor paper, the Wanderings paper, in a large 9x12. So I can also make some really nice paintings with this lovely deckled edge and rough textured paper, as you can see. And then just, mat this on a mat board. I don't have to cut the mat, and that will also be a beautiful painting. And it's just learning how to work on this rather pulpy, very rough paper. So let's go now to paint one of our lovely winter scenes. I'll show you how I use my particular brushes for this one. One that you'll maybe want to acquire if you don't have it is, oops, here it is, the fun fan brushes, and there's a variety of these out there. You can get them in synthetic. This one was an oil brush that I think I used, but I just loved how it really fans out nice and thin. So using my fan brush, I start with some purple. I like to use purples and blues to create that cool feeling of winter. And I'm starting to create my trees. They always come out different, so these might look very different than the other trees that I showed you that I've done, my winter scenes. And so I just go with whatever's happening. The top of that one tree is a little crooked, so you'll see I'll go back in later. But I just kind of realized I'm having more of a group of trees here, and just letting that fan brush do what it does and kind of letting this happen naturally. The paint is quite saturated and not too watered down, or you're just going to get, you're not going to get the definition. So that's just another tip. So let's keep going and see what happens here. Remember, you want to keep whites in between so that there's like snow on the branches. If you lose it a little, take an opaque white or a white gouache paint, and you can go back in with your fan brush and bring that back out. Then I went with my round brush, my pointed round, to create some ground with a soft, muted, less concentrated paint there, just to figure out where my ground is. And then, the reflection of the trees, if I wet the bottom part of the fan brush work, you'll see that I can create sort of reflective on the snow of the trees down there just by softening that, not so hard-edged. So sorry about the occasional blurring here, and I've speeded up the camera so that you can kind of go through this a little more quickly with me, but get the idea. I added more concentration of color because when it dried it got lighter, which surprised me, but it soaks into that thick pulpy paper, right? And then, like I say, you see a little more value shift and maybe a little too much at the top of the trees, but I go back in a little bit. I also added in some contrasting color, which is yellow, on the color wheel is contrasting. It's kind of, the warmth of the yellow kind of makes the cold and the cool feel cooler. And so I brought that into the shadows on the ground and in the sky. And using my big soft mop brush there to spread that paint out. And it does change as it soaks and dries, so you'll see some shifts here. And then finally, I add the white paint with the fan brush again, just to add in a little of that snow back. I lost some of that, a little too much paint on the purple paint on the brush early. Here I'm going to use Duochrome Aquamarine. You saw it there for a second anyway. And we're going to bring that in. It's going to add some shimmer and some sort of holographic kind of sheen to the painting. It didn't come out as dark as I'd hoped. I was kind of surprised. It shows up on the dark paint, on the purple, but in the sky it almost comes out like a light aqua green, almost a teal. And then, like in another one of these cards I did, I like the idea of a white moon up in the top on the side there. So I brought that in. It might have been a little bit wet still from the aquamarine, but it kind of looks all right. And after it dried more, I added more white in, and it looked pretty nice this way. And so this is how I finished it, and then I will put it on one of the cards, or you could just use a mat board and mat it and put it in a frame as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe. And see you in the next Spirit of Watercolor. Bye for now.